The body of Gene Hackman, his spouse, and their dog were discovered of their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, on the age of 62. Gene Hackman's daughter, Elizabeth G. Hackman, has ultimately broken her silence, simply days after the famous actor's death. For years, the Hackman circle of relatives has saved their personal lifestyles out of the public eye, but now that her father has died, she's speak me out to affirm the rumors that have been going round. Be part of us as we look at her emotional revelation. Find the reality about the life and legacy of one and all Hollywood's maximum beloved stars. Gene Hackman actor Gene Hackman and his spouse Betsy Arasa had been determined useless in their Santa Fe, New Mexico domestic on February 26, 2025. The couple, at the side of certainly one of their three loved dogs, had lived a long and prominent existence. A maintenance worker shocked determined the bodies when they arrived at the house, and known as 911 proper away deputies from the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office quickly arrived and located that the employee had remaining spoken to the couple about 2 weeks before the grim discovery, which made them marvel how lengthy they have been useless. While the deputies arrived, they observed Hackman's frame inside the dust row of the basement, residents in a totally bad way of breaking down. Arawa's body became a comparable body turned into located in a nearby restroom, together with prescription drugs for excessive blood strain and thyroid issues to make things even extra complicated. One of their puppies, a German Shepherd, become determined useless in a closet near Araka. However, two other puppies had been observed alive at the belongings, giving people wish within the midst of the tragedy. Deputies from the sheriff's office who had been there said Hackman regarded to have all at once each bodies were found with similar accidents, suggesting that they will have died the identical way it turned into. Also stated that both may additionally have died several days or even up to 2 weeks before they had been found. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department replied quick, announcing on February 27th that there had been no clear signs of foul play. However, the actual motive and time of dying have been nevertheless unknown. Fire department officials inspected the belongings and found no signs and symptoms of a carbon monoxide leak, ruling that out as a probable purpose. The sheriff's office started an investigation into the deaths, but there are still plenty of questions that need to be answered. The preliminary post-mortem reports did not show any signs of external trauma to both Hackman or Arawaka. However, it was clean that herbal mummification had already commenced to manifest. By the point there, our bodies were found. More assessments and investigations confirmed no proof of carbon monoxide poisoning, and on February 28th it changed into showed that both people examined. Bad for it getting records from Hackman's pacemaker discovered that in all likelihood died on February 17, nearly 2 weeks earlier than his frame was located. This revelation has given investigators extra questions as they try to piece together the info of this tragic and mysterious occasion. What does his daughter have to mention? Approximately the motive of his mysterious loss of life. Permits find out Elizabeth G. Hackman's circle of relatives believe she died of carbon monoxide poisoning. The middle baby of well-known actor John Hackman and high-sex wife F. Maltz has spoken out about the tragic deaths of her father and his spouse, Betsy Arakawa. The couple changed into found lifeless of their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico on February 26th, sparking each grief and speculation inside the family. In an distinct interview with TMZ, Elizabeth, 60, talked about what her family thinks may additionally have brought on their untimely deaths, though the respectable investigation is nevertheless ongoing to find out what happened of loss of life. Elizabeth and her siblings assume that carbon monoxide poisoning might also were to blame. The police were referred to as to the couple's home after associates requested for a welfare test and discovered that G. Hackman, 995, and one in all their 3 dogs had all died as a minimum a day earlier. It is nevertheless not clear why the neighbor called for a check, and there aren't any signs of foul play at the moment, in keeping with Sheriff Adan Mendoza, because the investigation keeps the truth that there's no immediately proof of against the law does no longer imply that not anything is happening. Elizabeth did no longer supply any specifics, approximately her father's health. However, it's miles known that in his closing public look almost a year ago, Gene Hackman became visible the usage of a cane to get around further. To Elizabeth, Gene Hackman is survived with the aid of his oldest son, Christopher, and his younger daughter, Leslie. He and Betsy Aracana did not have any kids together, nonetheless coping with their grief and making the vital plans for AOR memorial provider Elizabeth Leslie, her granddaughter Annie, and their father Gene Hackman paid tribute to their cherished ones in a heartfelt announcement to Parade. They stated, "It's far with outstanding sadness that we announced the passing of our father, Gene Hackman, and his spouse Betsy. He became cherished and prominent with the aid of millions of people round the world for his brilliant acting profession, but Taos he changed into usually simply Dad and Grandpa. We will miss him sorely and are devastated by way of the news, even though Gene was well known and may be remembered for a long term." In Hollywood, the family remains sad about their loss as they undergo this hard time. The research into their deaths keeps, and the Hackman family is retaining directly to hope for answers, whilst they plan the way to honor their cherished owns. Gene Hackman became one in every of Hollywood's best actors, and his loss is felt deeply via each his family and the many enthusiasts who cherished him. The thriller surrounding his dying adds to the circle of relatives' grief. However, they're nonetheless targeted on helping every other and finding peace in the course of this tough time. Elizabeth, one of the overdue icon's daughters, lives a non-public existence far away from the highlight allows study. More approximately, her Elizabeth G. Hackman changed into, born in August 962, and is the daughter of the famous actor Gene Hackman, and his first spouse Faye, consistent with the New York Post. Elizabeth is the middle toddler of three, her older brother Christopher Allen and more youthful sister Leslie Jean Hackman. Also from the same own family, Elizabeth and FMT's marriage turned into a vital a part of both in their lives, but it resulted in divorce years earlier than Faye's dying. In 2017, regardless of her father's fame, Elizabeth has saved a totally private lifestyles, not often going public, but like many famous children, she did make appearances with her father at Benny Humans. While many people saw Elizabeth at distinctive activities when she changed into younger, for instance, she becomes seen with her father on the 1978 screening of the famous movie Superman, in which he performed the lead role of Lex Luthor. Any other critical occasion she attended was the 1996 optimum of the film The Chamber, which starred Gene Hackman, because then Elizabeth has stayed out of the highlight, and her non-public lifestyles is generally unknown to the public. Just like that of her siblings, they select to live low-key lives away from the media's attention. They don't want their private lives to be known to the public in order that they do not make many public statements or appearances. This choice has brought to the mystery surrounding them, as there isn't always an awful lot facts about their relationships, non-public life, or activities. As an instance, it's no longer clear if Elizabeth, her brother Christopher, or her sister Leslie are married, or in the event that they use social media like many human beings today. Hackman was well known for his roles in movies like The French Connection and Unforgiven, but he also kept his privacy after his marriage to Faye Maltz ended Hemet and married his second wife, Betsy Arakawa. They have been together for over 30 years and stay a quiet existence far from the busy Hollywood scene. Amon died in his 90th, having long since retired from performing too. Spent time with Arakawa and live a non-violent private life in a big metropolis in an international wherein famous kids regularly need to be in the public eye. The Hackman children, along with Elizabeth, have selected a distinctive route. They price privacy and discretion over repute, and their choice to live out of the highlight suggests that they want a life free from media intrusion, similar to how their father chose to leave the limelight after a hit profession. While Gene Hackman's career can also have earned him an area in Hollywood records, his youngsters, which includes Elizabeth, have chosen a special direction of their very own, quiet, unassuming ways. They have made a call for themselves, showing that not everybody is destined for reputation. Irrespective of what their mother and father did, let's study Gene Hackman's journey to stardom. The reluctant megastar who conquered Hollywood in 1956, Hackman took a risk and commenced analyzing, appearing and rolling on the Pasadena Playhouse in California. It became there that he met Dustin Hoffman, who changed into also trying to come to be an actor. Hackman's classmates even voted him the least in all likelihood to succeed. He were given the lowest scar the school had ever given him, which can have beaten everybody's dreams. But Hackman did not surrender as an alternative. He used it as motivation to show anyone incorrect. He packed his luggage and moved to New York City, wherein he struggled to make meet while chasing his goals. There he became close with fellow actors Dustin Hoffman and Robert Duvall and shared small residences with them. as they all tried to break into the commercial enterprise. In the end got here in 1970 with I Never Noticed My Father, which got him a nomination for an Academy Award, but it changed into The French Connection in 1971, wherein he performed hard New York detective Jimmy Papey Gorge Doyle and gained the award for high-quality actor, solidifying his area as considered one of Hollywood's excellent. From then on, Hackman became unstoppable in the early 1970s. He became in hit movies like The Scarecrow, which won the prestigious Palme d'Or, and The Communique. He even confirmed, off his in 1974, he played a comedic position in Young Frankenstein, displaying that he wasn't just a serious, dramatic actor, but additionally had a sense of humor when he labored with a number of the largest stars of the time, like Morgan Freeman in Under Suspicion, Keanu Reeves in The Replacements, and Owen Wilson in Behind Enemy Lines. In 2001's The Royal Ten, Bombs Hackman played the eccentric patriarch of a dysfunctional circle of relatives and gained a Golden Globe for Pleasant Actor, proving once again that he should manage any position. In 2004, Hackman determined to forestall, performing his closing movie, Welcome to Mooseport. Turned into a light-hearted comedy that was very distinct from his darker roles, Fanatics was hoping he might come returned to the huge display. However, Hackman stated in an interview in 2008 that he was indeed retired worries from medical doctors. Approximately, the stress acting turned into putting on his heart performed a large position in his choice. Even after leaving Hollywood, Hackman stayed busy in other ways. He commenced writing and posted several novels, additionally got here returned. In short, to relate Marine Corps documentaries, In 6 and 2017, a true Hollywood legend. Gene Hackman constructed his profession on durability and cooked skills and an unwavering willpower to show the doubters incorrect. He went from being a struggling actor, changed into voted least possibly to prevail, to becoming one of the maximum reputable actors of all time, one of the finest performers. Full-time, his legacy is one of hard work, excellence, and unforgettable performances. You may say that his childhood organized him for stardom. He was capable of make a call for himself by way of navigating the United States and downs of existence. Let's investigate the information of his early life. Eugene Allen Hackman, better recognized as G. Hackman, was born on January the 31st, 9:30 in San Bernardino, California. In Anita, Eugene Ezra Hackman turned into born to Elizabeth Ney, and his family, which included his brother Richard, became used to transferring round. Eugene's mother became from Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, and the Hackman own family moved around plenty whilst he became younger. In the end, they settled in Annville, Illinois, where they lived together with his English-born maternal grandmother. Barbara, Eugene's father, labored as a printing press operator at the local newspaper commercial enterprise, but family lifestyles became anything but strong. Hackman knew at age 10 that he desired to be an actor, but his youth become hard. His parents divorced while he changed into 13 years antique, and his father, in the end, left the own family. No matter these problems, Hackman stayed decided. To observe his performing dreams, he spent his sophomore year at Storm Lake High School. However, his time there was cut short whilst he left domestic at 16 to serve his U.S. of a hellied about his age, and joined the United States Army as a radio operator in the USA Marine Corps. Hackman became sent far from home, first to China, wherein he was stationed in Chongqing, and then in Shanghai. How his military provider became, now not without change, when the Communists took over mainland China. In 1949, Hackman became dispatched to Hawaii and Japan as an alternative. After 4.5 years of provider, he was discharged in 1951 and moved to New York City to begin. Over there, he did some of strange jobs while he attempted to discover his FT in the large metropolis. However, in 1962, his mother tragically died in a hearth she started out while smoking. Despite these setbacks, Hackman by no means misplaced sight of his dreams. He decided to apply the GI invoice to have a look at the University of Illinois to pursue a profession in journalism and television production. His time there was quick, though, and he dropped out earlier than completing his degree. Undeterred, Hackman made his way back to California, where his course to Hollywood fame started. Early in existence, Gene Hackman had a whole lot of problems and needed to make quite a few personal and expert adjustments, but he was decided and driven, and he went on to emerge as one of the most well-known and flexible actors in Hollywood. In comes many awards for his iconic roles in films. His tale is one in every of ardor, perseverance and following your dreams in spite of existence's many challenges. What changed into his personal lifestyles, like especially with his family permits, discover out celebrity actor Serenity Gene Hackman had. A fantastic journey on and rancid display marked by using two well-known marriages that modified his personal life in one of a kind. Approaches in 1956, Hackman married fame adult males, beginning a 30 to 12 months relationship that delivered them 3 youngsters, a son named Christopher Allen and 2 daughters named Elizabeth G. and Leslie Hackman, whilst their own family grew Hackmans. Busy movie career saved him away from home loads. Hackman stayed an critical part of his kids' lives, even though his career in Hollywood kept him away from home loads. Unluckily, after nearly 30 years, collectively, the couple divorced in 1986. However, Hackman's personal lifestyles failed to give up there. In 1991, he married Betsy Arakawa, a gifted classical pianist who turned into born in 1959 and was a massive part of Hackman's life. The couple located a home in Santa Fe, New Mexico that have become their sanctuary. Their assets, which became perched on pinnacle of a 12-acre hill, had a notable view of the encompassing landscape. The view went all the manner around, showing the majestic beauty of the Sangre de Cristo and Sandia Mountain. Tears their domestic, which turned into featured in Architectural Digest in 1990, changed into a true reflection in their shared love for splendor, lifestyle, and the arts. The couple's lifestyles in Santa Fe was Hackman, an established fan of lifestyle and the arts, persisted to be an energetic member of the Santa Fe community lengthy when they moved there, going to many cultural events in the region. His life with AOA appeared to be a peaceful and pleasurable balance. After Hackman's a long time within the highlight, Hackman's marriage to AOA lasted till her demise in 2025, and all through that time that they had constructed a existence of shared passions and mutual respect. Despite his fame, Hackman stayed involved in Santa Fe's rich cultural scene. After he stopped appearing, he often interacted with the artists that he and his spouse had grown to like. Gene Hackman's journey through marriage and circle of relatives suggests a person who, despite the depth of Hollywood fame, continually sought to discover a quiet, grounding balance in his personal lifestyles, from the demanding situations raising children, even as being away on set AOT, to his later years filled with artwork and peace in New Mexico. Hackman's lifestyles is a testament to both your non-public and expert boom. What do you reflect on consideration on G. Hackman's daughter? Subsequently confirming the rumors, let us recognize within the comments below and recollect to like and comply with